What's up, Sooner Nation? Welcome back to the Sooner Surge. Make sure you're a part of the Sooner Surge community, family. Don't forget to click subscribe, enable those notifications, like, comment, give us a rating, hit us up with a super thanks, whatever you want to do. We appreciate you guys, the community of the Sooner Surge family. We're growing, and it's because of you and what you're doing as far as liking and commenting and sharing. So, guys, there's no question that the Sooner defense is living up to the hype that it has been receiving these first four games. Definitely answered some questions yesterday on the road test. Did not allow a single touchdown to Cincinnati, a game that leading up to this game was talk of the trenches and, the importance of the trenches in this game. And OU lived up to the hype. What a great performance. And again, led in large part to the play of Danny Stutsman. Again, this guy has been unbelievable this season. Should really probably win Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week again this week with the amount of tackles that he had. I think it was 13 tackles, but on the season now, 43 tackles, 19 of those solo tackles, has the INT for a tutty, continues to make play after play, and some other plays that stood out yesterday, Jay. So let's get into the talk of Danny Stutsman. Best linebacker since, I don't know, we'll bring that up, but let's just talk about his play this season.
Yeah, I think a lot of people going into the season, just in the offseason, you kind of tell he had stepped up his leadership maybe off the field and on the field. And I don't know if anybody can sit here and say they thought he'd be this good statistically and just his level of play so far this year. I don't know. I mean, he's just been unreal. And I saw a stat yesterday that compared Manti Te'o, if you remember that guy from Notre Dame, linebacker, who was finished second or third in the Heisman, I believe, that year. And Stutzman's numbers, if they continue, are going to be better than that. I mean, so he's playing to the highest level you could play at right now as a linebacker. I mean, I can maybe one or two where you'd say, oh, he missed a tackle. I mean, it's just unreal. He's getting a hand on you and you're going down. There was a play yesterday. A few plays stood out yesterday to me. One particular was near the end of the game, 4th and 2. I believe Jones took off running, and Stutzman took an angle on him and basically just wrapped him up, grabbed down to the legs, and where he couldn't get any more momentum to get the first down. It was unbelievable play. With Downs assisted a little bit, but Danny just really took him to the ground so he couldn't get the first down. And there's a few plays on short yardage where he made plays. He tackled for, I think he had 3.5 tackles for loss yesterday. And then also in the coverage area, there was one play I think it was a turnover and downs. He had great coverage on a guy. And then you look at the trick play, and this goes back to what SMU too. I mean, he has snipped out everything. Trick plays, whatever. He snipped it out. He's been on top of it. And listen to him post game. What's so exciting, I think, and not just him, but all the guys on defense is they don't talk about what they did. They talk about what they didn't do. And I think that's the most important thing. They're not satisfied. Even Danny's like, there's things that could have been cleaned up and better. So, man, if he keeps playing like this, he should win Big 12 Player of the Week again defensively, if not nationally again. I mean, it was a great performance.
With his stats, he's got to be the favorite right now for the Butkus Award. I don't see anyone nationally in comparison to him stats-wise and what he's doing, how much effect and impact that someone's had on the defensive team. Danny Stutsman has had that effect. And look, we all thought Danny Stutsman. I mean, guys, Stutsman was great last year. This isn't like this is a guy who hasn't been able to make tackles, and he came out of nowhere. And like Brent Venables even said, I think in a press conference a week or two ago, was Danny Stutsman was great last year.
Well, not just that. Danny Stutsman, his freshman year, I think there was a lot of OU fans. I was one of them. Like, when he's in there, he makes plays. Like, he would come in on third down to blitz. He would whatever. But Grinch and them they weren't going to throw him out there, and they probably should have. I mean, he's just that good. Right now his instinctiveness on plays is really good. I mean, he reminds me a lot just of when you look up and the tackles made, and it's Danny Stutsman. That part of his game reminds me a lot of Rocky Calmus. Um, Rocky Calmus was the same way. He just was there. He made the tackle. I mean, Danny Stutsman makes the tackles, and if a guy needs 3 yards, Danny will get him before three. He'll get him at two or whatever it may be. He's just always on top of it right now. And yesterday, I thought he blitzed really well a couple times. Just really good blitzes, him and Canick. But you mentioned earlier best linebacker since, and so far if you take this four game kind of section that he's played so far, it's one of the better 4 game kind of areas, 4 game comparison that you could really. There's not a whole lot out there. I mean, you could go way back and compare guys, but I'm just thinking recent years, past decade or something. I mean, Kenneth Murray would be my most recent that I think was, you could compare to Danny, but I think Danny's right now just playing above that for sure.
Yeah, and you talked about the instincts that he has. There was another play that stood out to me. It was when he was blitzing, uh, didn't show blitz till really late in the snap count and timed it absolutely perfectly and was able to get the guy for a loss. That's either the snap count because you watched a lot of film and just your instincts. And again, you put a prototype. Who do you want as a linebacker? Put someone out there. I mean, this guy's 6'4", probably 240, I think 236, can run, can tackle really well, great in space, can cover. He's got it all. The guy's going to be in the NFL playing on Sundays. His leadership is out of the roof, pun intended, because Ted Roof has to love this guy. And Brent Venables, we know that when Venables stepped on campus, one of the first things he wanted to do was help Danny Stutsman be an All-American, and the guy's going to be one.
Well, and I think a lot of times, we talk about Danny a lot, but if you watch yesterday, Canick had a great game. Kip Lewis came in, and when Kip Lewis gets in there, he does really well. Kobe almost had a pick. I think Danny has really helped those younger guys too. I think he's he's latched onto this defense. And last year was a learning curve. I mean, Brent Venables' defense is not easy to learn. And he had to learn it last year. And I think what you're seeing, and I think Joe Klatt mentioned it several times about how quick this defense is, how fast they're playing. That's because they know where they're supposed to be. They know where they're supposed to go. And anytime that, I think Ted Roof said it post game. When you know the defense another year in the system, your reactions are quicker. You're faster because you just know, and that's what you're seeing this year.
You just used the phrase that probably summed up. But we want your comments in the chat. We want you to tell us what you love most about Danny Stutsman. Tell us that he's the best linebacker since who. Drop those comments in the chat. And one thing you said, Jay, is he's latched onto the leadership role. And you know what else? When he latches onto you, you're not getting away, opponents. He's going to latch up on you, and he's going to hold on, and you're not escaping. And I can't wait for this week, prime time, under the lights, Iowa State, coming into the Palace on the Prairie for another Danny Stutsman magical performance, I'm sure. Drop your comments. Be part of what's going on in the Sooner Surge. Till next time, Boomer.
Boomer.